Open it. Greetings, how are you?
Good, how are you? I have myself on mute.
Okay. Greetings, Marie. Hi. I'm trying to. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, God.
Sound okay? No, Gina, what is that? I can't.
Oh gosh, that looks scary.
Yeah, I don't know. This is Afrikan Mysteries School. I don't know if we trying to be that mysterious.
I'm gonna turn off my thing anyway. I just wanted to say hi to.
I don't know.
Faye.
That mysterious.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
How are you? Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Greetings.
Greetings.
I can't see you.
I am gonna turn off my camera.
You were right in the middle too. Why your screen look like that? Oh my goodness. So this is my first time going live through Zoom, y'all. Bless my heart. Okay. I had to figure it out today. Let's see.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
So, yeah,
Is the light? Is the light okay here? Can you? Do I need to? Do I need more
lighter,
light?
but it's fine. I mean, a little brighter, but it's fine. So everybody, so nice for us to be all together. You all know me. I just want you to take just a quick moment just to introduce yourselves to one another. We'll be working with each other over this next 9 months. I want to thank you all for saying yes and being a part of this vision. And I hope that our words are able to touch whomever heart needs to. Sunny. And greetings. Just waiting. I think Tracy might not be able to come on because she's in Mexico, but she's gonna try. And it's 7, so let me see. I'm about to go live on Facebook, Lord.
Hey, Nicole.
Is that my baby saying hi? Is that my girl?
How are you?
I was gonna act like we professional, okay?
Okay, yes, that's true. Let me just put it all together. Hi.
I can't get my video to work. Okay.
Share on my timeline. Go live. Oh snap. It's loading up, y'all. I don't know if you can see this. Second. I'm not sure what's taking so long. All right. Yeah. All right. Yes, it is. Here we go. I'm not sure what just happened here.
Nice.
Can I see you all? There we go. Yay! All right. Thokozani, peace and greetings, everyone. Hopefully you all are seeing me live on Facebook. Just one moment. Let me just make sure I'm seeing it live before we start talking. Okay, yep, I see us. Awesome. So awesome. Thokozani, everyone. Peace and greetings. My name is Makosi Gogo Otel-Ganyezi. I am the founder and creator of Afrikan Mysteries School. And today I'm here with the group of instructors and support team here to answer any questions that you all may have. I have a list of questions from a few people that they sent in. And we have someone on our team, Savira, managing the chat. So if you all have any questions, feel free just to post in the group. And first, I just want to introduce everyone here. First, I have my sister, Marie Nazon Mambo Yazi. She is going to be teaching her 6 weeks on Voodoo, a way of life. So we have her here today to answer any questions that you may have about her course. We also have Makosi Sifa Njezer. She's going to be teaching about abundance and stepping into your abundance, working with your ancestors to claim your spiritual inheritance. We also have Makosi Nicole. She is here as well, tuning in from Canada. She will be teaching about creativity, tuning into your ancestors in her 6-week course, Creativity and Spirituality. And then we also have Ife Michelle. She is here, and she is going to be teaching about Lukumi and the Orisha, opening up your Ori in your mind, and working with Egun from the Lukumi perspective, the ancestor. So we also have some of the support team here. We have the beautiful Nisani. She's going to be doing all of our ancestral bead work for all of the initiates in Afrikan Mysteries School. So it's going to be a beautiful surprise. Can't wait for you all to receive that. And we have our resident herbalist here as well, who will be making the ancestral medicine bags for you. So I just want to jump right in to some of the questions that we had sent in. I had a few people ask about what would be expected of them in each of the mysteries that we'll be unveiling. So we have the Ubungoma tradition, the Zulu tradition, as well as Lukumi and Voodoo. So if any of you want to take that particular question, and then we can move around based on everybody who's present tonight. Anybody? Yeah, Ife, based on what you're going to be teaching in Lukumi, what would you say would be expected from the students that are taking your 6-week guided experience?
Yeah, so for those who'll be taking my courses, all that would be expected is for them to be able to, just gain a deeper understanding of the information that's being presented, for it to also provide some additional support for them, some healing, some insight, in ways that they can really begin to heal through Ori, through Orisha, through Egun, and for them to be able to really manifest that which they're attempting to manifest. So to be able to walk away with the gifts that we will be providing for them in the classes, I think is the ultimate goal.
Okay, thank you so much. And
Yeah. I have to apologize. I have my little Legba dog who may make a few noise, and he actually looks like a Legba dog. And Legba is one of the Loas in the Vodun Pantheon. Legba is also a shoe, in Ifa. So he may make a little noise. For me, I would like my students just to show up as an empty vessel, to receive the information that they will gain and learn from me, and I will also learn from them too. To be present, and to also be uncomfortable, to be prepared to be uncomfortable, because we will talk about, we'll be, diving into trauma, ancestral trauma in this discussion of the Voduna way of life. Voduna was born out of conflict and revolution. Well, actually, the country Haiti was born out of that, and Voodoo was an integral part of making of Haiti the first Black country to have freed itself from slavery. So we have to address trauma, and so to be prepared to be uncomfortable, to sit with that, and be open to whatever possibilities and enlightenment that will definitely come.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. Either of the Makosis would like to speak about what's expected of the student initiates within your mystery that you'll be teaching.
Yeah, I'll go.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I would probably reiterate being prepared to be uncomfortable. When we're talking about any of the African mysteries, we're going to be, there's no way that we can teach it without talking about and challenging a lot of the ways of thought that people come with. So being prepared and open to look at where you're uncomfortable, why you're uncomfortable, and ultimately being ready to choose to apply the knowledge in a way that serves you, not just the way that you were brought up and conditioned. So it will be likely week after week of some kind of uncomfortable moments, but ultimately we expand in those uncomfortable positions.
Thank you so much for sharing. Makosi Nicole.
As for me, although many of those who walk with me are from water, I've been told that I initiate by fire. That means more than uncomfortable, especially in a place where I'm demanding you tap into creativity, demands for you to have a practical aspect in my class or course. So be prepared to use your voice, be prepared to write, be prepared to move, be prepared to do various things. And most likely I'll encourage all of the students who come into my course to also journal and also to record your dreams, because they will come.
Yes.
Get ready.
Yes. Thank you for sharing, Makosi. Yeah, that's definitely going to be a continuation from the opening with me, as I'm going to be starting the first 6 weeks with the ancestors in my bones. So definitely within my 6 weeks, definitely be prepared to feel your emotions. Also have your mind open, right, to be able to be aware and track your thoughts, tracking where those thoughts are rooted. So it's gonna, yeah, definitely just about feeling on all the dimensions. May you see, feel, and hear your spirits in the way in which they communicate with you. So during the first 3 weeks, it's going to be really just an intense time of going in, connecting with your ancestors. And again, yeah, just coming back into our bodies. So many of us, due to trauma or just, different things that we've experienced in life, have, left our bodies, and we're detached from that. So over the 6 weeks, it's going to be a coming home, you know, coming back to self. And in self, all is present. Your ancestors, spirit, the divine, all is present. So you're going to be coming back into that space. So yeah, it looks like we all are going to make you feel things, and that's important. And with that, I wanted to talk with our ancestral leader, Nisani, as well. Part of the reason why I wanted you to be a part of this is because of all the things that we're going to be feeling and opening up to. And so in many of the African traditions, beadwork is utilized for many different reasons. It's not just because it's pretty. So I wanted to talk about a little bit about, you know, what you're going to be creating without revealing too much of the mystery and what they'll be getting, but, you know, just talk about your work, you know, and how you come up with your creations.
Okay, thank you. Well, my name is Nisani, and are you able to hear me clearly? Okay. My name is Nisani, and I am the creator of Misty Moguls. And as far as the beading and the healing that I put into my work, I can say that it's something that I've connected with and built with since I was very youthful. I used to always have connections within my dreams and always was outside of groups. And some people call it like a black sheep or someone that is different than others. I've always been a person that's been outside of the box, and I feel that has led me to the journey that I'm on now as far as my expression, because as a youth, I was always a mute. I never really communicated much. And my cousins and friends would always say, talk about my personalities and used to play tag your egg with my personalities, because I was kind of like all over the place because I was so disassociated with communication. So I've always just expressed myself through my hands, and I've done a lot of different things with my hands. And so yeah, art and creating and building is one of the things that I've done. So excuse me if I kind of get off topic, because it's a little story behind everything. And as far as my journey of spirituality, my mother, she was born in Central America, and I'm the first immigrant child. So my mother, being born in another country, coming to America in the 80s, that's when a lot of, one moment, you can bring it to me. One moment, my tea's coming. I get nervous. This is definitely.
It's fine. I'm being on camera too. I'm not
Okay.
more behind the scenes, but.
Thank you. Okay. So my mother, she basically kind of disassociated herself with a lot of traditional things that a lot of the root workers back in Central America has done. So I basically became the person to reconnect my lineage and of spirituality and my like unseen growth in a sense. So basically, I don't know, I'm kind of getting off topic, I feel, but long story short, that is how I've come to utilize my expression through creativity and beading. And that's a little bit of my background as far as spirituality. I've actually was the person, you know, a lot of us talk about getting back to our lineage, getting back to our culture, getting back to our ancestors. I was actually the person that connected my lineage to my lineage. And it's so interesting because when you're a young person, you always go to your family and you ask them, like, you know, when your spirit has so much curiosity and you want to know your background, you want to know the stories, you want to know what's going on, you want to get involved, like, especially when you feel that inner calling. And no one had any answers for me, but as soon as I started having like more dreams and started doing my research, and I would go back like to my grandmothers and my uncles and my aunts and like my older cousins with stories, they're like, yeah, that's how you know, yeah. I'm like, okay, well, you guys know I'm trying to, you know, understand this and go through things, but I guess, you know, it is a journey. It's something that you definitely have to kind of tap into, get connected. And although, you know, people may not always give you the answers or it may not be there, but once you start getting more clarity and searching and getting involved and really doing the work, then a lot of the, like, see, they say, I'm trying to find the word, like the coincidences, people are like, oh, this is it's no coincidence. As things just start tapping and just start connecting and activating, it just start coming together for you. So that's a part of what's going on with the beadwork. And I feel the beadwork is something that is connecting and things coming together and, you know, things just being manifested through unspoken things, through secrecy, through things that's just being manifested. So that is what you all have look forward to when it comes to the beadings. Some of the work that Makosi has, you know, shared with me as far as what's sacred to her and what's meaningful to her. And I'm just a vessel to just manifest that and create that and to bring that into the fold for you all.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Bonnie is a very talented beater, and she really does tap into the ancestors. Within Ubungoma, beading is very important, and my ancestors are very particular with who makes things for me. It's usually required for me to do my own beading for a lot of things, but you know, they actually said that it was okay for her to bead for me, and also said that it would be okay for her to bead for the Mpande, you know, our spiritual lineage. So that speaks a lot of just her work and her integrity. So thank you for being a part. And the beads, again, are going to be, we'll go into that during my last week, speaking about the beads and understanding the beads in connection to certain ancestral spirits and what that significance is. You know, we're all sometimes attracted to certain colors and patterns and things like that. All of those things, oftentimes, everything has a vibration and an energy. And so attached to that vibration and energy are different ancestors that resonate at that frequency. So we're going to talk about that and, you know, get an understanding of all the ways in which the ancestors communicate with you, especially through the things that we wear. So I have a few more questions that I want to get into. Let's see, find the next question. So, so we talked, somebody asked, when does it start? We start on this Monday, September 21st, and we run from for 9 months, and we end with Marie teaching voodoo. So I believe the lineup is, I open up with the 6 weeks, then we have Makosi Nicole, Makosi Hasifa, and then I believe there's Tracy teaching on the mysteries of the womb, Iya Ife, and then again, Marie ending with voodoo. So, and we'll be ending July of next year. So 9 months of really going in deep, digging deep, connecting the missing pieces, you know, the things that have been missing from our journey, the things that we've been needing, gathering up those things so that we can finally really step into our purpose and claim our abundance. So that's what it's about. And the length of time, that was an easy question. Let's see. So a few people have asked about community support. I don't have the other members of the support team, but I'll talk just a little bit about the community support and just have some of the instructors share in ways in which they will be offering support throughout their time. We specifically have a community support team that will be with you all throughout the 9 months. We'll have weekly temple hours that will be open. So during that time, we'll be open about 2.5 to 3 hours per week. During that time, you can reach out to us, call in. That time could be spent in a mixture of ways, as the support team has so many different talents. Some of us do Reiki healing. You know, obviously I'm a bone reader. We have oracle readers and just energy healers in general. And just those that, you know, are just able to sit there and just be a mirror for you to unpack. So when you're having those weeks where you might encounter some intense work that you're being required to do, we have those temporal office hours so that you can get that additional support outside of what each of the instructor will offer during their time. I wanted to talk to you, as well as Marie. Both of you are licensed clinical social workers and understand the importance of mental health and spirituality. So I wanted to get into that. That's a topic that's very important to me as I struggled with mental health. I still struggle with that depression. If I'm not taking care of myself, it flares up. So self-care is essential for me. I wanted to talk to either one of you can jump in and kind of speak a little bit about some self-care practices and just what you'll be teaching in conjunction with the different mysteries in medicine that you'll be offering. Marie, you can go first. You look so engaged.
Yes, because I've had a full day of counseling. I'm on the counseling faculty at a local university, and my primary task is really holding space for the mental health and well-being of our students. And they are going through so many things at this time that it's when you think you have 20 minutes, it turns out to be an hour. It's interesting as a licensed social worker, and I've been in this profession for, wow, over 25 years. I've been honored to be able to support people through their mental health journey, and using, especially in the last 15 years, given the various initiation and connection that I have with African spirituality and developing my own spirituality and intuition, to have used my skills to support people in that healing. And one of the main things that I do is to work people in finding their center, finding their breath. So meditation is very important to me. And part of my class will be to take the time to connect with the breath. I think if anything, if there's one thing that we can do to support our well-being, is to be able to breathe. And even though we're breathing now, some people don't breathe properly to bring enough oxygen to their brain so that they can settle and focus. And in that breath, we also find our ancestors. We're able to be still and listen. And so one of the practices that I will be incorporating in my class is the breath and learning how to be still, because there's power in the listening. And in the listening, we are given information and we are given symbols. And understanding what those symbols are and recognizing when the symbols come and what to do with that is part of the healing. But yes, we will be focusing on not just post-traumatic stress syndrome, but present day stress syndrome. We are all walking with present day stress, and being present with that, and figuring out what is the next step. And the ancestors are part of that conversation, and connecting with them.
Thank you so much for sharing. Anything?
Yes, so I too, as you mentioned, I'm a licensed clinical social worker, and I've also been a licensed clinical social worker for over 20 years now. And so, you know, I've had the pleasure of being able to combine both my priesthood with my training And so one of the things I want to encourage folks to also do is to take advantage of the temple hours, as you mentioned, and then also to be aware of what comes up during the classes, and to take advantage of the support that we'll be providing as well. And to, we are here to support. But, understanding the connection between spirit and mental illness is so important. And, I've been able to, as I mentioned, utilize my initiations as well as my intuition to assist folks with just understanding and gaining a deeper level of understanding in terms of their spirituality, how it relates to mental illness. And understanding that sometimes gifts present as mental illness, or mental illness can sometimes be gifts that folks don't really understand. And so, also being able to understand mental illness as it pertains to us sometimes not being aligned with our destiny, not being aligned with our purpose, not being aligned with our truth, and the connection to intergenerational cycles, right? The connection to that ancestral piece, also the karmic piece is also very important. So definitely one of my passions is really helping folks understand how it all sort of comes together and how it's all interconnected.
Thank you so much for sharing it. I wanted to also talk with our ancestral healing. We have a sister on our support team that's going to be making the ancestral healing medicine bags, and I wanted to talk about the connection with the medicine bags and the purpose, of why, we wear the medicine bags in relation to our spiritual health and well-being, and how the herbal medicine can also support in this journey. If you can share, I know her camera is not on, but you'll hear her speaking. If you can go ahead and let us know about that in Younger Ebony.
Yes, good evening. So yes, I'll be providing medicine bags for the students, and some of the herbs that will be included in there will provide, things like protection, spiritual protection, help with your dream journeys that you'll be having. And I'll also be offering advice on some of the herbs that can be taken and utilized as you go throughout your journey, throughout the 9 months, when you're feeling certain emotions or going through certain things that'll be supportive, different teas and infusions and things like that.
Yes, that's very important, the self-care. So I wanted to make sure that we had someone on the support team that can assist with that, because it's definitely also about not only, our spiritual health, but also just our physical health and bringing that connection, and the herbs also help us to come back into our bodies, and reintegrate with our bodies. So thank you so much for sharing about that piece in Younger Ebony. I have some more questions.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. That I have for the Nyangas, for the Makosis that are on the line. I had a question. Somebody had a question for you all. And I actually will open up with this, but I really wanted to speak with Makosi Hatsifa in regards to this. So I had a few women reach out that were from what I call another skin journey. As this is Afrikan Mysteries School, obviously this has been created with the intention to heal African wounds and uplift our lineages. However, in my understanding and the way that I was guided for my spirits, I've always been called to be a bridge for all people. I've always found myself in the middle some kind of way. And so in this space, it would be no different. And I really want to talk with Makosi about this because we've had a lot of talks in private, and I shared my battle with that, because I want to make this something that's available for all people. Is my opinion that we all have roots within the mother, which is Africa. You know, her medicine is for all people. And especially during these times where there's so much going on with things dealing with race and all, just so much right now that we're dealing with in the world. And so if you could just kind of touch on that, Makosi, as I said, we've had many talks privately about this, but you could just share your thoughts on that as well.
Yeah, I mean, there were many years that I questioned why I chose to come into this world as pretty close to 50-50 European, and also you know, a variety of African lineages. And so you know, you and I have talked about this because it is what so many of us are called to do right now. And it's not an easy thing because there is so much trauma that's been left unresolved, but it's also trauma that's been left unresolved on both sides. So when we talk about ancestral inheritance, those who have been born of a different skin journey also inherit the trauma. And trauma is just an elevated or heightened emotional experience that gets imprinted in the DNA. And then we inherit that whenever we are, you know, born from our parents and grandparents, etc. So when we look at some of the atrocities that have occurred, there are people who are carrying around unresolved ancestral trauma because it's traumatic to harm another human being. So, you know, in our initiatic process, there is this focus of resolving. There's a big focus before you can really move forward at all. There's a big focus on resolving all of the ancestral trauma of those ancestors who died by accidents and died in this way and committed horrible acts, et cetera, and that is like the foundation before we can even really put anything on it. So my view of this is that we have to, if there are people who are really willing, because I do have a lot of people who come and are not, who think that they are, and really are not. But it only takes a few people being willing to get uncomfortable and really examine those things in order to stop the perpetuation of these acts. We don't really heal that by just pretending it never happened, right? So the only way that we can really do that is to begin to shift paradigms. And that's really of the mind. That's really where it all starts, addressing how certain people have impacted the world in various ways and accepting the humanity for that and coming to resolution within the self.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. That's something that was really important to me that you shared and that we shared tonight, to let everyone know that this is something that is for everyone because everyone needs this medicine. All of the ancestors that I work with, you know, they work with all people. I have spiritual children who are of other skin journeys whom I love very much. And at the end of the day, when you go far back enough, they have African ancestors who called them to initiate. And so I want us to move beyond what we think we know, what we think we see, and again, get into the seeing, feeling, and hearing what is actually true for us. And it's not always what we see on the surface, you know. And in dealing with ancestral healing, we're all so mixed up. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to create Afrikan Mysteries School. One, because especially those of us in the West, you know, that have this Black experience, so to speak, and whether you're Black or not, you experience the Black experience in one way or another, being in the West. And we are such a mixed bunch. And that's the reason why we have to come together in this way, to be able to honor all of those ancestors that are present. At least in my journey, I've found that as I began to step out in dealing with African spirituality, the more I step out into one, the others come up like, hey, what about me? You know, like I want my time now too, you know. And so it's important to have people that you can trust and guide those different aspects of yourself, because different spirits show up differently, right? And so it's important to understand how and why they're showing up, you know, and why they called us and why we have this to unpack together, you know. Ancestral healing is something that we have to do individually, but more importantly together in community, right? Because it's also about the witnessing aspect. It's also about Ubuntu, you know, and connecting and understanding how we're much more similar than we are different, right? And when we share in these experiences, we're able to really see that on so many levels, that it's beyond the skin journey. It's about what the soul is requiring. And for those of other skin journeys that feel called to this, I ask you to look, you know, deep within yourself. Obviously, know that you're coming into sacred space and you are to treat it, you know, as sacred space, but feel that you're welcome here because you have a home here too, right? And it's not for you to be tiptoeing around. If you're gonna come into this space, then come with your full heart, come with your fullness, right? And be ready to learn and to go to the root of the mother, and be ready to be uncomfortable, like a lot of these priestesses have said tonight. Be ready to be uncomfortable in what may come up, you know, but know that we're all in this together, that we have things in place to be able to deal with that. Because if you're here, then that means that it's ready to come up and be healed. I wanted to talk with Makosi Nicole. I had a question that actually would be good for you. I know that you spoke about dreaming and journaling. I had a few people that were reaching out, asking about their dreams and how do they work with dreams. I know that you're someone that I go to with my own dreams. So just speaking, you know, about that and how that plays a part in this journey.
Well, I believe, and I've been taught, and I've bared witness and experienced that the ancestors and the spirit speak in many ways. However, the dream state is so sacred. And I'll contextualize it first by saying in a society, in the Western society, that doesn't even admonish and glorify rest. That's number one. So part of it for me is I like to encourage that rest, sleep time is the best time for creativity. I don't tell this parable very well, but there's a story I remember many years ago told to me. I don't know if it was, you know, Deepak Chopra or one of those new age people, but this hit me where they were telling about a story about a man who was sitting in their backyard, and the neighbor would watch this particular man every day, and, you know, very curious as to his movements or lack thereof. So when the man was lying and then just sleeping or resting, the neighbor asked the gentleman, well, what are you doing? And he said, you know, I'm working. But he was in a complete state of rest. when finally the man got up, and let's use his medium of expression as an artist, when he saw that the man was finally painting or doing whatever he was doing in the backyard, the neighbor asked, well, what are you doing? And he said, I'm resting. So we see the flip of the paradigm as to the state that you need to be to receive. And I love that. I was like, yes, because we don't look at the process, especially in the process of creativity. And that's why I said creativity is spirituality. You receive more when you are resting, when you are sleeping, whatever, to receive the messages, to receive whatever calling or whatever imprint that you need to set out in the world, whether it's through music. So I'm talking more of my paradigm here, whether it's through music, artistic expression through theater, writing, what have you. We need to go deep into those realms first. Then the other aspect, of course, is the interpretation of dreams. And that is a whole other kettle of fish. I don't necessarily think it would be appropriate right now in this group setting to deal with it, but we can definitely start to unlock and look there. But it is very important to journal your dreams. My Gobella would encourage that all the time when I was studying with her. That is just like, what did you see? What did you hear? What did you feel? All of those realms I tack into when we talk about the dreamscape. How are the ancestors? How is spirit communicating with you? 9 out of 10 times it's in a space where you are most zen. And, so I'm excited about it because I think, again, just flipping the philosophy of stopping. And as, Priestess Marie said, you need to listen, you need to stop. You need to breathe. So even in my paradigm too, breath is actually the first foundation. You must breathe. You must meditate to get into a place where to receive and to hear what it is that you're supposed to deliver to the world.
Marcos, thank you so much for sharing. Let's see, just looking through the list of questions that we have. Make sure I didn't skip over any. So let's see, who do I want to go to? Marie. When all else fails, I go to Marie. Real talk. So just to quickly piggyback off what Makosi Nicole was saying about the dreams, and needing to rest, and rest being essential for creativity. I think about the beginning of this year, and all of you all were here in some way. Just a quick moment. A little technical glitch. All of you were here in some way to assist me as I was going through my process. Most of you probably do not know, but I was experiencing a major illness earlier this year. I'm just trying to make sure I send the link to one of the other priestesses that need to come on. All right, thank you. That I was experiencing a major illness throughout this year, and I was sat down for probably about 5-6 months. And during that time, it was a period of that's really all I had the strength to do, was just dream and sleep and heal myself. So it actually, based on what Spirit was trying to push through me and birth through me, is the reason why we all are here right now. Because I allowed myself that time. That rest was so essential for what is being birthed. So I want, Marie to talk a little bit about just rest and trusting the process. Marie was definitely with me, advocating for me throughout my process. So, and reminding me to rest and to slow down and just to be in the process that I was in. So often we're here, but we want to be there. you know, and so we're not really fully experiencing what is present and receiving all of the lessons and the blessings that that time is offering. Marie, did you want to jump in?
Yeah, sure. I'm the little fly in her ear. Did you eat today? Did you go for a walk today? Did you experience the sun today? What are you doing to take care of yourself? I'm a big proponent of self-care, and we only speak and teach what we need for ourselves. So whatever I tell her, I am reminded that I need to do for myself as well. And you know, the importance of rest and self-care cannot be emphasized enough, because it is when our body is in balance and at rest that we can really hear the ancestors, right? Because they are operating at a high vibration, right? Our guides are operating, not just our ancestors, and our guides are operating at a vibration that we need to access. And that happens when we're still, and that our vibration is also high to meet them, right? And there are times when they're here and we're there, but because they need us to hear, they will impact our environment in whatever way they need so that we pay attention, right? And many times you don't need that blow in the head. It's a matter of just being present and being in conversation of being in the now. And so this is what I would share is when we're taking care of ourselves, if we are present, like what is happening right now. This is Friday afternoon, 7:51. I am present. I am here. When we're in the present, then everything is okay. It's often when we are thinking of the future that we become anxious. We're thinking of the past, we become depressed. But when we are centered and in the now, we find our breath, we find our balance, and we can connect to spirit in a way that supports us. And the last thing I want to say is that spirit is always going to be there to support us, whether we're in the present, we're in the past, or the future. But it makes it a little easier for us to receive when our body is in equilibrium, and we're able to really connect and be in the present, and they're able to better connect with us. And when our thinking also is at a vibration that meets them, then this is where our intuition really support us as we're developing our intuition, and that calls us to have a different wave of thinking so that we can connect with that source of information that all of us have. All of us are born with intuition, some more so than other, but I think given this illustrious group of teachers that we have, we're going to be tapping into that and how to access that even more at a deeper level. And so I'm really excited. And I say that I'm still learning. This is what initiation means, that you begin. And I will always be learning until I become an ancestor. I don't have all the answers. We all don't have the answers. But there is answers within us and through the class that will be coming forth. And then there'll be more questions. It's just the beginning.
Marcos, thank you so much for sharing, Marie. Let's see. We only have about 5 minutes left, so I just kind of want to go around and just everybody share about around this last question that was asked. I'm just looking at my notes. Someone wrote in regards to the value and what's being shared, and what's the best way to hold the medicine that they're receiving. You know, each of these are such powerful traditions, right? And so they're wanting to know what's the best way to approach this, and wondering about the intention to support us throughout, or to support them, excuse me, throughout the process. So yeah, so how do they hold the potency of what is present within each mystery, and what that process of self-care and work will look like. Yeah, Ife?
I'm gonna let someone else go because I have a doggy that's barking right now, so you might not hear me. So I'm gonna try to quiet her down and then.
Nope. No problem.
Sorry about that.
Oh, good. Let's see. Makosi, Hasifa, can you speak about that, of how they can hold what's going to be given to them and treat that with actual value and care?
Yeah, I think, you know, there's so many lessons that each of us learn going through our own initiation, and we can pass those lessons on, even without having to have gone through the process. A lot of those lessons can be shared. And one of the greatest lessons that I learned is that if you are the one who's coming for knowledge, or you're the one who's coming for healing, you don't come with expectations or attachments to how you're going to receive it, because it will be exactly what you need for it to be, as long as you're coming with the intention that that's what you want. So I encourage each individual to look inside and make sure that they're coming with that open heart and that open mind, and really treat it as a very sacred point in their life, a transition point, an initiation.
Thank you so much, Makosi, for sharing. I'm gonna ask the other Makosi to speak. Makosi Nicole.
Okay, I need to be very real at this point, because even though I am a quote unquote instructor, I want to sit at every woman's feet here in this group. Do you hear me? I want to learn from each of you. So as much as I'm a teacher, I am a student, and I am so excited. So when you ask about how to approach, well, first of all, if you are called to be a part of this school, that is the first step. So I implore everyone, if you feel the need, if you have this burning desire, the call is the first thing. And, you know, I have Jamaican heritage, so you don't want the spirit to lick you upside your head. So if this is, and trust me, it's happened to me. And I am a joker too. So sometimes when people are like, are you a Makosi for real? Because you are a joker, but it's real life. So the call, if you hear it and you have that nudge, heed the call and come. That's the first step. There's nothing else. And I'm from a Christian background too. Just come as you are.
Come as you are. We come today. You come.
You know? I'm coming too. That's what I'm just letting you know. I'm coming too. I'm coming to everybody else's.
Okay.
Right? And remain open, because everybody will receive something different. The material may be quote unquote the same, but you won't receive it like how, you know, Priestess Ife, like, you know, we could be standing in the same room, but we're receiving the message, and it's the same message, but it's hitting different. For me, because the medicine, and that is part of the message, the gospel, what is for me is for me.
Mm-hmm.
I will hear what I need to hear, because we're all at different stages. We're all evolving. We're all coming in at different levels. And as Priestess Marie said too, it's just like, we ain't gonna be done till we transition as ancestors.
Even then, you ain't done. You still learning. Okay, I'm still learning. Okay.
Okay. And I'm gonna leave it right there. I'm gonna leave it at the altar right there because I can go on. Come, and this is what I will say, I'm being impressed. There are people who are nervous about money. And we lightly touched on it in our conversation. If you are called, if you have an altar, bring it to your altar. If you're worried about money, and especially during this time, during COVID-19 and the lack of work, or you haven't been working or what have you. And I know my sister Makosi is going to be talking. This is why you need to go to her class to talk about abundance and how to access. Doesn't matter what time of period. You see what I'm saying? Do not be afraid. Talk to us about the investment. The ancestors will make a way. I can't tell you how many times I've had testimonies where I've had to learn about the investment, because that's the universal law. You must give to receive. You understand? Like, you can't just take, you got to give something. So think about that, where if you're hesitating because of the money, and I can appreciate it to a certain extent, but I'll say, present it and come. They will make a way. I'm going to hush now. Actually, Marcos.
The lovely Tracy Bryan Swin all the way in Mexico, because she's popping. Yes. I wanted to introduce her while we have a few moments for her to speak about. We had a question about how to approach, the sacredness of each mystery, of each gateway, right? And you're going to be teaching about the mysteries of the womb, the metaphysics of the womb, and how to heal ancestral trauma of the womb. So how would you approach that,
Well, first of all, I want to thank all of you for allowing me to be here. I got time kind of got away from me. There's a time difference here in Mexico. And right now, me and my husband are just on the beach and we're relaxing, and we're just taking in all of the beauty and the ocean and all of the elements. So thank you again for allowing me to come, and I apologize for being late. But I do want to say that in approaching the metaphysics of the womb, first off, you have to give it you have to give honor to the mothers. The mothers, giving honor to the mothers is so important. And many of us have challenges in trauma with mothers. You see what I'm saying? But I'm not just speaking of our physical mothers, I'm speaking of our ancestral and spiritual mothers as well. So we definitely have to tap into the sacredness of that and the messages that come through on that, because it's really not about learning so much as it is remembering. We have to remember who we are. So that's I think the beauty of what you're doing, Makosi, in this school is to help activate that in each participant, each initiate that is coming through, is that we're going to be able to help activate them to remember, so that they'll be able to get the downloads and the messages for their purpose and their empowerment. So that's how I'm bringing it.
Mama Tracy is going to bring it. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in and be here with us while you're on vacation. And Mama Tracy had her major birthing of her womb. She just birthed her beautiful wellness spa, Hey Honey, in the Atlanta, Georgia area. So she needs much rest. So I appreciate her, coming on and sharing this space.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So we're just about at an hour, and so
Makosi, I just wanted to say one thing really quickly, because the dog is quiet now, so I can speak. So the one word that kept coming to me is surrender.
Mm-hmm.
To surrender, to surrender, to surrender, surrender, to allow spirit to guide this process, allow your ancestors to guide this process, and trust and be open and surrender. And just like Sister Nicole said about investing in yourself is so important. A lot of times we hesitate, but that investment in self and investment in our spirituality is so important. So just surrender. That's what I have to tell folks. Surrender and trust.
Thank you, Ia.
And let me just add, when the student is ready, the teacher will present themselves.
Right.
And here we are. And listen to your body. Your body will tell you if you feel a quivering, if you feel a shiver when you hear about what the Afrikan Mysteries School is offering, then listen to it. Listen to your body. It's speaking to you. So when the student is ready, the teacher will present themselves. And here we are.
Thank you, Mambo. Yeah, we appreciate you. So I think everybody has shared, and I want to appreciate and say I appreciate each of you for taking the time to be here for this hour to share in your medicine and your gifts, and to just share with the women, the potential initiates, about what we're going to be offering over this 9-month rites of passage process. I look forward to each of you all who are coming forward one by one. Thank you for those who've already said yes and who have made the commitment. We definitely have something special for you, and for those that are coming, I just ask that you sit with what is true for you, and the answer will come, the way will come, if this is something that you feel within your bones. Does anybody else have anything they want to say before we close out? Nope. So
I just said, welcome, looking forward, come forth.
Welcome.
Let's do this.
Welcome.
And I am honored to be in the midst of greatness. You all are amazing women. I have to say it again. It's so exciting to see.
I'm looking at my dream, like on the screen here, like everybody is like here and offering their gifts. I bothered each of y'all probably a few years ago, and it finally just took a little time. Okay, I had to go through some things, but
everything in divine time.
In divine time.
We all do.
For this. So thank you all again, and I look forward to seeing you all in Afrikan Mysteries School.
Yes. Thank you. Peace, sisters.
Blessings.